Are you a real witch? Hi, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com, and if you're new to the channel and you want to become a real witch, or you just want to know what real witches do, or you already are a real witch and you just like watching other real witches talk about real witches, hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss anything. This video actually came about because somebody asked me that question, are you a real witch? And I found it quite amusing because I don't know anybody who doesn't know that, witchcraft is a spiritual tradition and that modern day witches are very much a part of the community as anybody else. However, I am aware that there may be some people who grew up as children being told that witches didn't exist because the type of witches that they may have been scared of as children were the ones that are negatively portrayed in the fairy tales and in various movies and television. So parents will tell their children that real witches don't exist, but then they find out that they do, and then they have no idea who and what we are. So I thought I'd just do a video about the modern witch. And essentially the modern witch is just a person, the same as anybody else. We choose a spirituality, a pagan spirituality, because witchcraft is essentially pagan. Witchcraft is a spiritual tradition, and there's many different types of witches and very many different types of witchcraft. Some are more religious in nature, such as Wicca. Others are not so religious as such. They're more a practical connection to the land and understanding the spirit of the land without necessarily having that theism that defines religion. So a modern witch is somebody who connects to nature. We talk to nature, we speak to nature. We believe it speaks back. My experience is that it speaks back. Some people would call that woo-woo. Fine, woo-woo away. But it's that connection to nature and that understanding that every part of what's around us that is natural and even created from nature has that divine spark in it and carries the essence of the entire divine spiritual consciousness within it. And so there's that communication and that respect for nature and working with the energies of nature in order to influence change, which is what we do when we're doing magic. Most modern witches and Wiccans practice magic. It's part of what we do. We are working with nature. We are like anybody else, have goals and desires and things that we want to do, missions in life, passions in life. We believe that we have a purpose, and we will use magic to help fulfill that purpose in life, and we'll also use normal everyday means to fulfill that purpose. We believe that magic is something that we all possess the ability to have. In the modern New Age community, it's called the law of attraction, and a lot of people embrace the law of attraction and don't have a problem with the concept of law of attraction, which is really using intention, the intention aspect of magic, to be able to influence change and to be able to direct their lives towards being able to achieve what it is that they feel is their goal, their mission, their passions in life. So it's exactly the same thing. We just give it the old name called magic, and we add a few different connections to our intentional work as well. We work with plant energy, we work with crystals, we work with things of the earth that help direct that energy and can help power those intentions a lot more than just mentally thinking about it. Which is what we do is we want to connect to everything in nature, and to connect to each other, to other humans, and also to the animals and to all aspects of nature. It's very nature oriented. It's a respect for nature. It's a cooperation with nature. We're not trying to dominate it or subdue it. We certainly don't see anything of the material world to be evil or bad. Certainly there is destruction in the world, and you have predatory animals and you have animals that aren't so predatory. But everything in nature has this polarity of creation and destruction within it, including ourselves. And it's honoring the way that nature keeps herself going keeps happening because of the polarity of creation and destruction. You can't just have creation and you can't just have destruction. You've got to have both. And as witches and pagans in general, all pagan religions, not just the Western paganism, but other Eastern pagan religions, understand that this polarity is the way it is. And we try to work within that polarity. Modern witches, especially modern witches these days, do a lot of inner work. We try to work on ourselves so that we can be happier people, so that we can raise our consciousness and be more connected to all and everything. And so we do work on ourselves. A lot of modern witches do meditate. We do grounding work. We do energy work. We focus on trying to make our lives, and hence the lives of other people around us, so much better simply by making life easier through magic and also through the inner work, and being able to form that connection to all and everything. Because when we connect to each other, when we connect to spirit, however you see that, the deities, then we're actually just better off people. We actually become more caring and compassionate as a result of that. So it's not like we have to be forced to be caring or that we have to be forced to be compassionate. It's that out of the practice of connecting, out of the practice of magic, where you are working with the energies of the plants, energies of minerals, and your own energy, working with deities and various different spirits, we're connecting all the time. And when we are connecting all the time, we realize that we are in a connected universe, and that in itself helps us feel like we should be more fair in the way that we work with it. So that is what being a modern witch is about. It really is about that connection. And I hear a lot of modern witches say that it's the connection that they're looking for. It's the connection that draws them to the craft. And when they're feeling like they don't know where to start or what to do, it's generally got to do with, how do I connect? And I think that's really what draws any of us to any spiritual tradition, is that need to connect to our higher selves, to connect to who we really are, our spiritual selves, and to really nurture that connection to ourselves. Because when we're connecting to who we really are, it's actually easier to connect to other people and who they really are, and there's a less of a disconnect going on. So that's what a modern witch does. It's who we are in many cases, not all cases. People have different goals, different desires, different reasons for joining the craft, or different reasons for using witchcraft. Some witches, it's a way of life and it's very much a part of everyday life. Other witches are really just do magic. They might do a spell here or there, and that's the totality of what they do. Other Wiccans, I believe there are Wiccans who don't even practice magic. They just practice the more spiritual side of the tradition, which is fine too. It's very flexible. We're very flexible with what we practice, because we know that we are responsible for everything that we do. And when we can take that responsibility, we don't need a scapegoat like a devil to say, well, it's all the devil's fault, or it's all the scapegoat's fault. We can actually look and take responsibility for ourselves, and realizing that a lot of what happens to us even is the result of our own energy and what we're attracting to us. So it's about understanding ourselves and understanding the world around us. That is modern witchcraft, and that's what witches do. I do have another video that is an introduction to Wicca and witchcraft that tells you a little bit more about the more standard sort of thing that you'd talk about as a witch or a Wiccan. So you can take a look at that. But this is kind of a little bit more about what some of us are like anyway, in regards to our direction, where we're heading, and what we're really looking for in this modern day and age of raising our consciousness, and understanding that we are going through a planetary shift at the moment, and that the planet's consciousness is also raising, which means that everything on the planet, the consciousness is raising as well. So that's also why witchcraft as a progressive religion, or Wicca as a progressive religion, keeps changing and evolving as we as human beings evolve. So that's my little rant about what a real witch is these days. And we're not figments of the fairy tales imagination, or people who wrote the fairy tales imagination exactly, although we don't tend to do exactly the same things. Like, I do have a wand, but it doesn't do the things that they do in fairy tales, and certainly my magic isn't anywhere near as spectacular as magic is on TV, which is a shame because it would be good if it did work like that. Anyway, if you are looking for that deep connection to nature, yourself and the divine, and you have been wanting to really take that deep dive into actually practicing Wicca, but you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, and you're looking for a guide, do check out the Mystery Witch School Academy. It's a 12-month course that helps you develop your skills, knowledge and experience as a witch. And I'll put the details to that in the description field below, so check that out. Otherwise, if you like this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, please comment, and let me know what your experiences are as a modern witch. And I'll see you on the next video. Blessed be.